seed in our homeland, boys. Let it grow where all can see. Feed it with our devotion, boys. Call it the Liberty Tree. It's a tall old tree and a strong old tree. And we are the sons, yes, we are the sons of liberty.
Today, we're turning back the clock to 1796, to a moment when America's founding father, George Washington, stepped away from the presidency and left us with a blueprint for the nation's future, one that's eerily relevant in our era of endless conflicts and global entanglements. I'm talking about his farewell address, a profound warning that could be summed up in these two words: America first. Long before it became a political slogan, George Washington was the original champion of putting America's interests above all else. In his address, he didn't mince words about the perils of foreign influence and the trap of showing partiality to other nations. He saw it coming, the way outside powers could sneak in, manipulate our politics, and drag us into unnecessary fights. Listen to this. Against the insidious wiles of foreign influence, the jealousy of a free people ought to be constantly awake, since history and experience prove that foreign influence is one of the most baneful foes of Republican government. Washington knew that getting too cozy with one country or harboring grudges against another turns us into puppets, slaves to animosity or affection that lead us astray from our true duty and interest, America. He hammered home the dangers of permanent alliances, urging us to steer clear of permanent alliances with any portion of the foreign world. Why? Because entangling our destiny with Europe's ambitions, or anyone's for that matter, would only ensnare our peace and prosperity in their rivalries, interests, and caprices. Instead, Washington advocated for commercial ties with political strings attached, trusting to temporary alliances for extraordinary emergencies, only when absolutely necessary. Neutrality wasn't weakness, it was strength, born from our unique geographic position that allows us to defy material injury from external annoyance and focus on building our own house. Fast forward to today, and Washington's words feel like a direct rebuke to our forever wars climate. The endless military engagements in far-flung places, the billions poured into alliances that seem to benefit everyone but us, and the partisan bickering over foreign aid that divides us at home. We've ignored his call to avoid habitual fondness or habitual hatred toward other nations, and look where it's gotten us. Bogged down in conflicts with no clear end, influenced by lobbies and interests that prioritize global agendas over American ones. Washington was right. We'd be wise to heed this founding wisdom now more than ever, before we quit our own ground to stand on foreign soil. Far be it from us, America first. What's up, guys? Welcome to Fathers of Liberty. Hey, I hope you really enjoyed that. We normally have a set season of episodes, and we are working on releasing our next episode on Paul Revere here soon, but sometimes the times and seasons dictate that we step into the debate and help educate and provide clarity for our present time. I want to start this podcast by speaking to the current climate that we are in right now in America. It's been about a week, and I think we're at war with Iran. Are we, as Americans, being deceived? Are we being told the truth? What is true here, and how should we act as Americans? How would the founders think about this current situation? Well, it's not hard to discover. We can look at the words of George Washington and wonder what he would do in the situation. Our American system has drastically changed from that of the founding generation. Which is better? Are we better in our modernity, Is democracy abroad our new American slogan? Is that what we were founded for? Freedom for all nations? Is the American ideal compatible with every society even? We can examine this all by looking at two different paths and directions of America. The first direction, which is apparent today, and is the agenda of everyone, whether Republican or Democrat, conservative or socialist, in regards to foreign engagement, they all believe that we should be the world police, enforcing the good and bad around the globe and bringing about the moral order of nations, all while not having any dirt on our hands, as we do all for a righteous and noble cause. Or so the established media would have you believe. After the world wars, our country jumped on the map as a country to be a mediator, negotiator, and ultimately enforcer of quote unquote good. We determine what good is and what righteous is and what's bad and what is wicked. We act on that determination and then we churn up the war drums and start things going. The second direction is the path that George Washington speaks to not get entangled with foreign nations in foreign wars. Do not lose our sovereignty by conducting affairs abroad. When we step into another nation's issues and problems, we become entangled with them. We can have more issues at home. Our motives and our purposes are divided. Our intentions and the ultimate goal of freedom in America is twisted to say we must help everyone be like us. America is a good country, and I'm grateful for America. But truly, it is not compatible for every country. And just because it's been so great for us doesn't mean that we should try to put that on every single nation. That's not our duty. We have too many problems at home. We shouldn't get lost in standing on foreign soil when we need to do so much on our domestic ground. We have so many people hurting and things that are not as they should be. And so we should focus on that. Let's listen to what George Washington would say in his farewell address. Mind you that this is the first president of America that just fought a war against a foreign adversary, the British. One of the most exceptional parts about this is that George Washington is saying to not help the French. But the French were the reason we had victory in our homeland. The French came to our aid at Yorktown. They came to our aid at a time of need, in a time where we would have not defeated the British if we did not have the French to help us. Yet George Washington proclaims even them we should not help. The people that saved us, that helped us, that were enabled us to become a country. If anyone is deserving of help and support, it is the French. George Washington is solely focused on America first in this dialogue. We need to get back to that type of mentality in our politicians. President Trump promised us no more forever wars. We are stepping foolishly right back into them. We are desiring to take away another nation's sovereignty and ability to have a big stick. Honestly, on this podcast, we will ponder what peace through aggression can really mean, what the big stick mentality is, and what are the moral grounds that we have to destroy another nation's ability to gather a weapon. Do we respect sovereignty? Are we the world police? Are we called to be? Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoy this. Now we're going to step into George Washington's farewell address. Fathers of Liberty. It serves always to distract the public councils and enfeeble the public administration. It agitates the community with ill-founded jealousies and false alarms, kindles the animosity of one part against another, foments occasionally riot and insurrection. It opens the door to foreign influence and corruption, which finds a facilitated access to the government itself through the channels of party passions. Thus, the policy and the will of one country are subjected to the policy and will of another. Against the insidious wiles of foreign influence, I conjure you to believe me, fellow citizens, the jealousy of a free people ought to be constantly awake, since history and experience prove that foreign influence is one of the most baneful foes of republican government. But that jealousy, to be useful, must be impartial, else it become the instrument of the very influence to be avoided, instead of a defense against it. Excessive partiality for one foreign nation and excessive dislike of another cause those whom they actuate to see danger only on one side, and serve to veil and even second the arts of influence on the other. Real patriots who may resist the intrigues of the favorite are liable to become suspected and odious, while its tools and dupes usurp the applause and confidence of the people to surrender their interests. The great rule of conduct for us in regard to foreign nations is in extending our commercial relations to have with them as little political connection as possible. So far as we have already formed engagements, let them be fulfilled with perfect good faith. Here, let us stop. Europe has a set of primary interests which to us have none, or a very remote relation. Hence she must be engaged in frequent controversies, the causes of which are essentially foreign to our concerns. Hence, therefore, it must be unwise in us to implicate ourselves by artificial ties in the ordinary vicissitudes of her politics, or the ordinary combinations and collisions of her friendship or enmities. Our detached and distant situation invites and enables us to pursue a different course. If we remain one people under an efficient government, the period is not far off when we may defy material injury from external annoyance, when we may take such an attitude as will cause the neutrality we may at any time resolve upon to be scrupulously respected, when belligerent nations, under the impossibility of making acquisitions upon us, will not lightly hazard the giving us provocation, when we may choose peace or war as our interest, guided by justice, shall counsel. Why forego the advantages of so peculiar a situation? Why quit our own to stand upon foreign ground? Why, by interweaving our destiny with that of any part of Europe, entangle our peace and prosperity in the toils of European ambition, rivalship, interest, humor, or caprice? It is our true policy to steer clear of permanent alliances with any portion of the foreign world, so far, I mean, as we are now at liberty to do it. For let me not be understood as capable of patronizing infidelity to existing engagements. I hold the maxim no less applicable to public than to private affairs, that honesty is always the best policy. I repeat it, therefore, let those engagements be observed in their genuine sense. But, in my opinion, it is unnecessary and would be unwise to extend them. Well, I hope you guys were encouraged by that speech. It is hard to understand because the language is so different than our current day. We have dumbed down our speech, and we can't really even step into classical thought, classical writing and speech as easy as they were. And so, yeah, so it's something good for us to put in front of ourselves to be reminded. And that's just kind of a reminder of what this podcast is about, guys. We have to look into the past to understand the present and then see the future correctly. This is a major theme in this podcast. This is why I wanted to do this. I had a friend send me something, a video with a guy that was saying exactly the same stuff as I'm saying in Fathers of Liberty. And he used a lot of AI images to create a pretty cool video that was talking about the Sons of Liberty and things like that. But in the theme of wealth and currency and the problem of that and what the British were trying to do and control with that. But a lot of people see it that we haven't been taught our history. It was intentionally manipulated to make us who they want us to be. And I'm not just telling you my opinion. I mean, I am telling you my opinion on what I think George Washington says about it. And what with that, I think my opinion is today. And I'm looking through the lens of our founding fathers and not the modern day political mind. We have so much to learn in our understanding, and we can glean so much from their thoughts, their ponderances, and their classical minds. Our modern minds think that we know best because we're here, we're the ones alive, but we would do well to think in terms that we're not the end all be all and that there is things to learn. So this is George Washington's take on forever wars. America first from the beginning. He was America first from the start of our country, and he had all the right to be. There was a certain purity to his loved country, and we should see that and recognize we are so far from understanding the why and intentions behind his words. He watched so many men sacrifice and die for their freedoms. He saw for our freedoms. He saw the ultimate sacrifice. He was willing. He was putting everything on the line. He would be appalled at us sacrificing our American soldiers for another country and that especially is not an immediate threat to us. We're on the other side of the globe. That would be preposterous to him. It's just wild to think about that and to really step into, okay, George Washington was right after the American Revolution, and he's saying this after his second term in office. And he's warning us. He's giving us a warning sign. Don't go get involved in foreign wars with those countries. Why would you divide yourself? You would be partial to another country when you just need to focus on your own country. So yeah, and the next thing is just what peace through aggression can really mean. Foreign wars or domestic stability. Are we going to meddle in the world or will we strengthen ourselves? Peace through strength can still be achieved by creating a stronger power internally. Higher technology can be had and still not used unless it has to be. Spy networks can be had, and you can discern what threats are happening around the world without having to stick your finger in all the nations where you do not belong. Are we for American democracy abroad? Is that our new motto? Or are we for nations being nations and figuring out their own problems? This is a difficult thing for Americans to even comprehend. It's uncomfortable for us to think about someone else suffering and we see it on CNN and we're not doing anything about it. It doesn't seem right. And that's because that's how we've been conditioned. We've been taught that we have to be the one to step out. And we can't afford that sometimes. And we have to focus on those that are hurting at home that we don't see on the news. That happens to be the journalist pointing it out, but it doesn't mean that there's not hurt and danger in our own homeland. And ultimately, we are our own nation. We have to focus on our nation, and we can help other nations with assistance, but it doesn't mean we should go in and topple regimes and then leave them be. That's not our duty. Our duty is to our people. Do we want to drop taxpayer $9 million bombs, 1,000 at a time? Is that what our budget is for? Are we in debt currently? I think we are. Is that what inflation is for? We're paying even more interest on every bomb that we drop. Is that what debt for our grandchildren is for? Do our grandchildren want to be in this Iranian war? It sounds like we will never get ourselves out of the pit of debt if we continue these forever wars. We are entangled with other nations' problems, and yet we have so many problems at home. I want to talk a little bit about what the big stick mentality is and what are the moral grounds that we have to destroy another nation's ability to gather a weapon. So this big stick came from Teddy Roosevelt, and it's a big stick mentality. It says, speak softly and carry a big stick. You will go far, is one of Teddy Roosevelt's most famous quotes. It encapsulates his foreign policy approach known as big stick. It's really, hey, you show the other people that you have the power to annihilate them if need be. It doesn't mean that you say, I've got a big stick, and you, sir, over there on the other side of the fence, you cannot have a big stick. That's not allowed. And if you dare even touch or attempt to touch that big stick, I will wipe you out. No, that's not okay. I understand these are wicked people. These are the Ayatollah, the Muslim people, and I get it. They're not good, but the Lord is the avenger. God is the avenger. We are not the Avengers with Captain America going around the world and solving everyone's problems and discerning what good and bad is. We have our own good and bad. Our politicians are deeply corrupt. So we should start there. But back to the big stick is we are not even attacking a guy because he has a big stick and he's trying to hit us with his big stick. We're attacking a guy because we say they will never be able to have nuclear weapons. Not going to happen on my watch. Well, isn't that like a thought crime? Aren't we in the Minority Report now? And we're saying, okay, you Iranians, I know what you will do with a nuclear weapon. You will annihilate a country right next to you, which in turn will annihilate you. So we're just going to, predict everything that's going to happen. And therefore you are guilty of that thought crime. And of course we see all the chants, death to America, death to Israel. But also we have propaganda. I mean, we have to understand at what point we're being swayed. So big stick mentality, it's basically, hey, speak softly and carry a big stick. You will really intimidate those people around you. And that's a little bit of the current revival in the 2020s. Trump is doing that. And so, yeah, is it a moral deed for us to totally annihilate another country's leaders because they want to have nuclear weapon? Which countries are on the list for okay to have nuclear weapons? Does Israel have nuclear weapons? What if they use it? We should have wiped them out if they do. But yeah, so it's just kind of like, what? Where is our standards here? And even in that premise, we are stepping into the world as a world police, and that is not what America is for. That's not what Washington says it is for. And what would God have to say about that? Is that considered just and equal measure under the law in God's order? Is it okay to go wipe out another nation's supreme leader? In no way would that be just and good to wipe another country's leader for their desire to have a big stick. And it's not even a big stick. It's like a medium stick, because they don't have the power that our superpower has. There just seems like more things in the background that we cannot see. Do we respect sovereignty? Are we the world police? Are we called to be the world police? Should we honor another nation's borders? We are trying to protect ours. You define a nation by borders, language, and culture. That's what Michael Savage defines it as, but there are more things to consider. But ultimately, there's a border, and you can't cross that border unless you're going to fully go to war. And we don't want to go to war. Shouldn't we focus on closing our borders before we attack another nation's? If we don't respect if we want our border to be respected, shouldn't we respect somebody else's border? What about the innocent people in this nation? There are good people, good families, good Christians that are in these nations that are dealing with incredible turmoil. And yes, they may have had it with their Allahs, with whoever is in there. That is not my problem. My problem is at home. Do we ask for their permission, or do we consider what government toppling regime change could mean for their well-being and safety? We could do more harm than good in wiping out the leaders. You can create the Taliban. You could create anarchy. There could be a thin line of protection from total evil that could be happening because of the leaders in this country. And again, these guys are not good. I'm not saying they're good or they're like, they are bad, but it doesn't mean that we need to just wipe them out like we get to choose. Are we going to clean up this mess and charge the American taxpayer for it? Is that what getting in this war costs us? Is there anything in our founding document that mentions anything remotely near the world police mentality that is so widely accepted in America today? So yeah, guys, I want to leave you with that, and really just to ponder it. I'm just throwing this out there because I've even listened to a lot of podcasts that I like, guys that I agree with, Christian guys, and I don't hear that many people hitting back on the nuclear big stick premise, and just even talking through what our founding fathers would say. I have been encouraged by Tucker and the things that he said, and I think he's on a good stance, and I agree with a lot. And I'm not even digging into the Israel side of this. There's a lot there, and some people tend to go that way and think it's all connected and a piece of the puzzle, and it may be. But ultimately, we can look back to our nation's founding and recognize where we drifted off. So I just want to leave you guys with a few quotes from George Washington's speech because they're very good. And you can lose it in the big reading of it. So here's some of the good nuggets. Number one, hence likewise, they will avoid the necessity of those overgrown military establishments which, under any form of government, are inauspicious to liberty, and which are to be regarded as particularly hostile to Republican liberty. Overgrown military establishments, guys. I mean, I think it was Biden who said they better have a F-35 if they want to come take out the government. Speaks to this. Overgrown military establishments create their own agendas, not American agendas. It's inauspicious to liberty. It'll take away your liberties, and it's hostile. It's against you. It's not for you. It says it's for you. So number 2, it opens the door to foreign influence and corruption, which finds a facilitated access to the government itself through the channels of party passions. Thus, the policy and the will of one country are subjected to the policy and will of another. So like I said before, if this is Israel that is guiding us, then the policy and will of our country are subjected to whatever they want to do. Same way with NATO, same way with Europe, same way with a lot of other countries that we partner with. Our policies and wills are subjected to whatever they tell us to do. This is the good thing to do. We must do this. Therefore, we lose sovereignty. We've just taken a part of our sovereignty pie and we've dished it out to another country. Number 3, against the insidious wiles of foreign influence, I conjure you to believe me, fellow citizens. The jealousy of a free people ought to be constantly awake, since history and experience prove that foreign influence is one of the most baneful foes of Republican government. So history shows us that foreign influence can put us to sleep. We have to be awake to these dangers. It's a danger to us to be busy in somebody else's war and to be away in the war. We think we're just a superpower. We're going to win it. There's nothing wrong here. Let's punch that guy while he's down. And we got to be awake because we are at danger ourselves. What if, our weapons don't work at one point? Or what if the foreign enemies that we're not looking at are starting attacking us and we're depleted? Number 4, excessive partiality for one foreign nation and excessive dislike of another cause those whom they actuate to see danger only on one side. We can get a partiality and we're blindsided. We don't even know who is who, and they can just deceive us. Number 5, the great rule of conduct for us in regard to foreign nations is in extending our commercial relations to have with them as little political connection as possible. So far as we have already formed engagements, let them be fulfilled with perfect good faith. Here let us stop. Europe has a set of primary interests, which to us have none, or a very remote relation. Hence, she must be engaged in frequent controversies, the causes of which are essentially foreign to our concerns. So at this time, Europe had problems, but they're foreign to America. They're not ours. They're yours. You should handle them. Number 6, why quit our own to stand upon foreign ground? Why, by interweaving our destiny with that of any part of Europe, entangle our peace and prosperity in the toils of European ambition, rivalship, interest, humor, or caprice? Number 7, taking care always to keep ourselves by suitable establishments on a respectably defensive posture, we may safely trust to temporary alliances for extraordinary emergencies. We need to be defensive. We should be more defensive than we are offensive. We haven't been defensive in our own homeland. We have mass shooters in Austin coming out to take people out at 1:59 a.m., right as they're leaving the bars, and the police are right down the road. We have not been defensive as we should have been. But no, we can drop a bomb on Iran but we can't know the Muslim terrorist that's going to attack. Yeah, we need to be protecting our area first. And yeah, he may be partial to Iran, but we struck first in that. Number 8, harmony. Liberal intercourse with all nations are recommended by policy, humanity, and interest. But even our commercial policy should hold an equal and impartial hand, neither seeking nor granting exclusive favors or preferences. We don't want to give a favor to any country. Except in trade, that could help in commercial trade. But, number 9, constantly, and the last one, constantly keeping in view that it is a folly in one nation to look for disinterested favors from another, that it must pay with a portion of its independence for whatever it may accept under that character, that by such acceptance it may place itself in the condition of having given equivalents for nominal favors, and yet of being reproached with ingratitude for not giving more. There can be no greater error than to expect or calculate upon real favors from nation to nation. It is an illusion which experience must cure, which a just pride ought to discard. We will pay a portion of our own independence by showing partiality in favor to another, to lend our hand and do whatever they need. And we may feel so good about it. So, guys, I hope that helps you think, ponder what No More Forever Wars, how it was from the beginning, how we've drifted off, how George Washington was the original America First, Nick Fuentes bro, Groyper Army, and just that we need to think like this. We need to not be thinking on the latest CNN rant or Fox News rant or ticker or Daily Wire or whatever is put in front of us. We need to look into the past and then understand the present. And so, guys, I hope this is encouraging for you. America first. Let's get out of these forever wars. Let's focus on a strong country here, and we could have 1 million nukes in our nation and not worry about other people having 100 of them. And that's the premise I think we should accept. And so, guys, I'm grateful for you. Thanks for listening. I hope this encourages you. And we'll be back with a Paul Revere episode and a Boston Tea Party after that to talk about how we can economically try to protest against these elites, this government that is not helping us right now. And so can't wait to get those episodes up and let you guys think about that and ponder a little bit more. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. Fathers of Liberty.
The seed in our homeland, boys, let it grow where all can see. Feed it with our devotion, boys, call it the Liberty Tree. It's a tall old tree and a strong old tree. And we are the sons, yes, we are the sons of liberty. Save it from the storm, boys, water down its roots with tea. And the sun will always shine on the old Liberty Tree. It's a tall old tree and a strong old tree. And we are the sons, yes, we are the sons of liberty. It's a tall old tree and a strong old tree. And we are the sons, yes, we are the sons of liberty. It will grow as we grow, boys, it will be as strong as we. We must cling to our faith, boys, faith in the Liberty Tree. It's a tall old tree and a strong old tree. And we are the sons, as we'll listen to songs of